Okay, class. So based on the notes that you just took, we're going to apply that same information, and we're going to do Unit 3, classwork number 3. This is in the packet you got last class, okay? So turn to the next page, and this should be the one that you see. Balancing charges with transition metals. So example number 1 says you have scandium with this Roman numeral and fluorine. Okay? So our job is to figure out what the cation and the anion is, right? So to figure out which one is our cation and anion, we find them on the periodic table first. So in this example, they were talking about scandium and fluorine. So scandium is element number 21, and then fluorine is element 9 all the way over here. So we're looking at fluorine and we're looking at scandium. Okay? Now, I know that everything to the left of my staircase is a metal. Metals are always our cations. So in this case, between these two options, we know that scandium will be our cation and fluorine will be our anion. So I'm going to write the symbol for scandium, which is Sc. And I'm going to write the symbol for fluorine, which is F. Okay? Now they also give us a little bit more information. They gave us this Roman numeral. This Roman numeral is III, which gives us the charge on our scandium. Okay? Now since scandium is our cation because that's a metal, we're going to put the 3 for the III and a plus. Okay? Now our anion is F. F on the periodic table is in group 17. That means it has 7 valence electrons. It needs to gain 1 more to complete its octet. When it gains that 1 electron, it gets a -1 charge. Okay? Now we draw our balance in the next box. Remember, your metal goes on the left and the non-metal goes on the right. So our metal is the scandium with the 3+, and our fluorine, the negative, is our non-metal. All right. Now we look, this side's at +3, but this side's only -1. So right now they don't cancel. The easiest way to make this cancel is to make the side with the non-metal larger. So since it's only a -1, we need to add 2 more fluorines so that their charges, -1 plus -1 plus -1, adds up to a -3 charge. Now since they're the same number, their charges cancel. We're going to stick it together in a formula. So we have Sc first, because that's our metal. There's only 1 of them here. And then we have F, and we have 1, 2, 3 of them. Now to finish and name it, we name it as Sc, which is called scandium. And since scandium is in our D block, which are known as our transition metals, we don't know their charges, so you have to use a Roman numeral to show its charge. Just like they did over here, we have to use the Roman numeral 3. That Roman numeral told us that scandium has a +3 charge. It doesn't tell us how many scandiums we have. It just tells us that this scandium is a +3 charge. And then we have to name the last part, which is fluorine. We change it to fluoride, that IDE ending. Okay? So that's it for that example. I'm going to show you one more on the back. So if you flip it over and look at number 6, number 6, they actually give you the full name. They don't tell you iron 2 and this other part. They just gave you the final name. So if you notice at the end here, we don't have to name it. So our job is to split it into its parts and figure out the formula. So the first part is iron 2. Well, if we look on the periodic table, iron is Fe, and it's one of our transition metals. So we don't know the charge, but they gave us a Roman numeral. Again, that Roman numeral tells us the charge on our metal. Okay, so we're going to write Fe. That Roman numeral is II, so that's a 2. And since it's our cation, it's a 2 positive charge. Telluride is a little strange. Telluride, they already changed the ending to IDE for you. So what we need to do is figure out what that could have been before they changed the ending. So we got to look back at our periodic table. And remember, since it's the second part, it's one of the nonmetals. It's got to be in this section somewhere. Okay? So if you go through and you look, there's an element right here called tellurium. And if you change the ending, that would become telluride. So we're actually going to use that, Te, for our anion. But we got to look back and see what our charge is. So Te is in group 16. That means it has 6 valence electrons. To complete its octet, it needs to gain 2. 1, 2. That would take it to group 18. So if it gains 2 electrons, that becomes a negative 2 charge. Now we put them on our balance. Fe 2 plus on one side, Te 2 minus on the other side. That's our metal and our nonmetal. So metal, nonmetal. Right now we look at the charges and see if they cancel. Well, a positive 2 cancels with the negative 2, so they do cancel each other out. So we can just put them together in a formula. We have Fe. We only have one of them, so I don't need to write a number. And then we have Te. And there's only one of them, so we don't need a number. That is your completed formula for this. Now you can go on and you can complete the rest of the front side and the back side, and that will be part of your homework for tonight.